Hey guys, welcome back to the Lovin Dubai show. Today we have a very special guest joining us, and she is making moves from Canada and India to Morocco. Nora Fatehi is a global superstar, and we have her on the show. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. That was a nice intro. I love it.
Thank you so much.
I mean, it's Casey said, thank you so much. And on your Instagram account, you have 46 million followers.
Yeah.
It's a huge number.
Oh, thank
and
you.
you wave 3 flags. So if you can maybe tell us more about your background, where did you grow up, and so on.
So I'm from Toronto, Canada. I was born and raised there, but both my parents are from Morocco. So I'm really, into my Moroccan roots, and I'm really proud of it, and I bring it along with me through my art. But I moved to India about 9-10 years ago. So India has become a really heavy part of who I am and my identity, and it's my second home. Actually, it might be my first home right now. I don't even know if I have a home at this point. Like, I'm all over the place.
Must be very, you're all over.
I'm everywhere, yeah. Like, I stay here also in Dubai. So between Mumbai and Dubai, it's only like 2 hours flight, so I'm back and forth. But yeah, these 3 countries, Canada, Morocco, and India, make up who I am today.
How did you find your way into Bollywood? Because it's a small transition, but in reality, to grow such fame in such a short amount of time, how did you do it?
It's definitely not a small transition because I'm not Indian. Neither do I have any ties to India. I'm, from Toronto. It's like you look at the globe, Canada's here and India's like right there. So I don't know what hit me and said, you should go, but there was someone was handling my work. My agent at that time in Toronto was handling my work, and that was a point in my life where I wanted to take my career seriously and go into entertainment, become an actor, performer. And he suggested that I should go to India, and I was like, you know what, that won't be a bad idea, because anyways, we're so familiar with Bollywood. We all grew up watching Bollywood, so it wasn't something foreign. But India as a country was just it never crossed my mind. But when he said it, I was like, you know what, why not? Bollywood has music, dance, and acting all together in one industry, so this makes sense for me. And then I just packed all my bags and left.
Speaking of making moves, what a move.
That was the biggest move of my life.
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, it takes a lot of bravery to actually, move to India. It's not easy. And speaking of that, how's the reception, from from Bollywood, considering the fact that, your cultural background is not Indian?
Well, I would say very positive, because I've molded myself with them in terms of I learned the language, I speak Hindi, I've assimilated into their environment, and I fit within the requirements of acting in Indian cinema. I think had I not put in the effort to do that, I don't think the reception would have been that great, and rightly so, because if you're going to work in mainstream cinema, you have to relate to the audience. The audience has to be able to, accept you. And I've been really grateful that they've been very loving, supportive, and very accepting of me.
And then when you decided to jump into song, another move, how was the audience response to that?
Yeah, I mean, look, I feel like I'm such a grateful artist and very lucky, because anything that I've jumped into in my career journey has been received really well by my fans and the audience, and they love it. I mean, I was just saying that I've molded myself into their environment, but simultaneously I also brought elements of my culture into Bollywood, which they have been very accepting with, whether it was my Afro dancing and bringing into Afro music into the commercial cinema, or belly dance into commercial cinema, or even the Moroccan stuff that we've done with Nora. Everyone has been so accepting and celebrating of what I bring to the table.
I mean, you do associate yourself with Bollywood. However, you do sing in Arabic and English. And I noticed that, by the way, we were listening to your song, and I was like, that's Moroccan, that's Arabic.
Yeah. See, the thing is, when I got into Bollywood, I always imagined that once I gain the fame and the popularity, I'm going to shift towards opening up a new career for myself, where I can have more creative liberty and I can show more elements of myself, which I couldn't do in Bollywood. And the minute Dilbar, which was a song in a movie that I performed on in 2018, the minute that released and it just shot me into stardom, that's when I was like, okay, this is the right time for me to take control of the direction my career is going into, and now cater to a more international market. So I took the Hindi version of Dilbar and I created it into Arabic. and I sang it with Nair, and that would officially begin my singing career. And in 2018, we released the Arabic version, which was very popular actually in Dubai and many parts of the MENA region. And that facilitated my singing career. So moving forward, I became an independent artist. I started, really investing into my singing career. I did a song called Pipita, which is an Afro track with Rayvani. It's an English and Swahili track. That did really well. I did a track called Dirty Little Secret with Zach Knight, which was a really big one and really well received in India despite it being an only English track. So this really encouraged me to keep investing in my independent career. And I kept going and building my YouTube channel until I signed my first record deal this year with Warner.
It's just a phenomenal story of personal success. And something that we sometimes like to ask people, like, is it hard work? Is it talent or is it luck?
It's so funny. I get asked this question. I ask myself the same question. It's a bit of everything. There's always going to be someone more talented than you. There's always going to be someone prettier than you, skillful than you. But if you don't mix the talent that you have with immense work ethic and a bit of luck, you're not really going to go anywhere. You have to have this self-belief where if anyone says no, you don't take no for an answer. If the door is closed, you open a window. It's kind of like that, and that's how my journey has been. Me venturing into my independent singing career was not encouraged by a lot of people I was working with. A lot of people are like, why are you wasting your own money? Why are you doing this? You don't need to do this. You're already big. You're already famous. You're already doing movies. But I just didn't want to take no for an answer, and I always had a bigger vision, and my vision was always global after making it in India, and that's kind of the route now I'm going. Yeah.
But we do still see the hint of like Morocco. So how can you say, or how would you say that your Moroccan heritage kind of like impacted or shaped your identity and career?
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm like I said initially, I'm so proud of my Moroccan roots, and I find it so unique, and it's something about it which I've said since day one, we haven't had the right platforms as Moroccan artists. I mean, I'm speaking about other Moroccan artists. We have such talented Moroccan artists, and Moroccans inherently are great artists, and we don't have the right places to position them and even the right resources. So whenever I see, our dresses, the way we dance, our music, our spirituality, everything about us, I'm always like, let me take it and find a way to put it somewhere, or whenever I have the chance. Even our language, a lot of people like in India still don't know we speak Darija. They all like put us in one box and they're like, oh, it's just Arabic. But no, we have a very deep history where our language comes from. Amazigh Berber people, our tribes, where they come from, and their history hasn't been tapped into. And I want to be someone who can educate my audience and followers about that. And this is just a small way of doing it, via the clothes we wore, the face tattoos, the hair, the makeup. Everything that my director did in this music video has a meaning and it's very symbolic. And one day we can get into that. But yeah, I mean, I find myself very lucky to have that opportunity to do that through my art.
Sure, it's small things but big statements.
Yeah, for sure.
And one thing that I felt from the song Nora is it feels like an anthem for female empowerment.
For sure.
Like strong, maybe is there a personal moment that helped inspire the song?
I mean, it's not a moment. I think it's been moments, like many, many moments where I remember 4 or 5 years ago when I have my manager who's from Morocco, deals with like my international work. We were just sitting and making kind of like a roadmap of where I want to go. And the first thing was like, okay, we're going to like venture into your music career. You're going to perform at the FIFA World Cup. We were just manifesting. At that time, we seemed crazy, but it all happened. And one of the other things we discussed was bringing Morocco into my artistry. And we were just waiting for the right time. When I signed with Warner and we did our first writing camp, and you know how writing camps are, you get all these producers and writers in one room and everyone's doing their thing. And I walked into one room where Maez, he's also a Moroccan artist, he was there. He helped us write a lot of the parts of the song. And then we had our producer Lucas, and they were all like trying to get into the zone. And I heard this beat and I'm like, guys, this is such a crazy beat. What are we doing with it? And then they're sitting there rapping, da da da, and Lucas goes with flag Canadian Moroccan, and I'm like, wait, stop. What was that? That was so cool. And we built my story from there. And the way that they started writing, making moves from India, Morocco, that in a nice way that tells my story in a very brief way. Right. And as they were writing and I'm listening to them, I was getting so excited. I'm like, guys, this is a moment I've been waiting for. I want to tell my story. And one thing was missing, though, a Moroccan element. And I kept telling them, give me a Moroccan element. That's when we found the hook of the song. And I'm like, okay, this is it. We sent it over to a producer friend of mine in Morocco. His name is Mohsin. And he added the Amazigh Berber elements to it. You know, if you hear it, you could really focus and hear those elements. And when he did that, I was like, oh my God, it's happening. This is it. I got goosebumps. I was so emotional. And I was excited for my multicultural, diverse audience that I have, my fan base, for them to be introduced to this, for them to also celebrate it. I think it was the moment when my director showed me the mood board and the screenplay of the music video. That's when I really got emotional, because I'm like, oh my God, you're going to celebrate my success and my story. And I wouldn't have it any other way.
I just want to ask, like, and I feel the energy, and you knew that this song was the right song for you before it came out, but with 46 million followers and such a diverse audience, you have to know that when you put your song out there, you're facing criticism on your work.
For sure, always.
And it comes out. So how do you deal with that mentally?
I mean, if I breathe, I face criticism. So this is nothing. I mean, when you're an artist and when you put yourself in the public, you're essentially a public figure. Whether you're an artist, a host, or anything, you do face scrutiny, anything that you do, because nobody's ever happy. But I don't focus on that. I actually focus on the accomplishment. No matter how big I get or how many followers I have, I always think of myself as that girl in Toronto who was just like a nobody, you know, just hustling, trying to make it, and I still have that mentality. So anytime I succeed into doing something like this, or like the movies I do, or whatever, being on a big stage like the World Cup or the closing ceremony, any venture that I succeed in, I don't focus on the criticism. I actually focus on, did I just do that? That's crazy. Okay, if there's a girl or a boy out there who's dreaming, it's possible. You can make your dreams happen in any field that you're in. Just look at me as an example.
Well, now I want to ask, because you did mention that, you know, like Moroccans are very spiritual and so on. In the song, you mentioned evil eye in your song. So was it inspired by a true event of evil eye? Like, were you a victim of evil eye, and do you believe in it?
I think everyone tends to be a victim of evil eye. Of course, I believe it. I'm a very spiritual person. Everybody knows that. And when I talk about Ain Bnadm Fiya wa Ain Talaq Qarib, it really means that because I'm such a big public figure, I'm always under the, like you said, scrutiny. People are always watching me, right? So it can get really difficult. It can really suck your energy. And being someone who never kind of thought about the consequences of being such a famous person. I always was like, oh, I want to be famous because, like, I want the world to know who I am, and I want people to know, like, what I bring to the table, and I never thought of the other things that come with it. And I'm very open when I discuss these things. All artists face these things, and it's up to you to figure out how to combat that. But yeah, like, I mean, it comes with the package.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of come with the package, we're going to play a quick game. But before we get there, I just have one last question. You're sitting before us. You are a global superstar. You're very talented. You're very beautiful.
Thank you.
Do you have a message for people who aspire to fame?
I always tell people whether they aspire to fame, I think it's succeeding in what you're doing that brings fame, right? That brings recognition. Fame can come in different forms, right? I would say self-belief, because in the journey of what you're doing, you're always going to have people who just like, oh, no, I don't think so. Why do you want to do this? Kind of rain down on your parade. And when that happens, if you don't have a strong personality and your guard is up and you believe in yourself, you could kind of be like, oh, yeah, you're right. Maybe I shouldn't. And that would be so sad, you know, if you get discouraged. So I always tell people to be overly ambitious, no matter how big the dream is, no matter how many people tell you it's not possible, and have really good work ethics. I think that's what really helped me, because like I said, there's always going to be someone more talented than you, sings better than you, dances better than you, acts better than you. But if you don't have the work ethics, people are just going to want to give those opportunities to somebody else. So yeah.
Reach for the stars. I love that so much. We're going to do a really quick game.
Okay,
it's
let's
a buzzer.
do it.
It's called Hot or Not.
Hot or Not, okay.
We're going to call out a random thing. If it's hot, you tell us it's hot. And if it's not,
buzzer, okay.
There she goes. She got it.
Okay, well, the first one is Big Boss.
Okay.
Hot or not?
In what context, though? Look, it really helped me get my name out there. So hot.
Hot.
Okay.
Private jets.
Hot.
All right. Well, Dubai bling.
Hot. I enjoy it. I find it so entertaining.
I feel like this is going to be a surefire round. TikTok dances.
Hot. Okay. Give us some more. I can do the buzzer.
Well, let's see. Last one.
Online dating apps.
No.
Okay.
No.
Well, we got one. That's a no.
How do you meet someone?
I don't. I prefer the times where people met like face to face, by accident, on purpose, you know, that kind of stuff.
So no DMs.
No.
Not answering to those.
No, never.
Interesting.
That brings us to the end
you.
of this interview.
She's
Nora
like,
Fatehi.
interesting.
I was like, okay.
Thank you so much for that
Thank you
insightful
so
chat. We
much.
really appreciate your
Thank
time.
you for celebrating this track and promoting it. It means so much to me and my team. Thank you.
Nora is out now. Take a listen. You will love it. It is the anthem of the summer. That brings us to the end of the show. Have a brilliant day. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Bye-bye.